This is the plaintiff, James F. Watt. He says he's worked as a mental health counselor for almost 20 years, and the defendant, owner of a dignified transition housing organization, owes him back wages. She also owes him for belongings that were stolen from her facility. He's here to get his $4,900 returned and is suing the defendant for exactly that. This is the defendant, Annette Michael. She says the plaintiff lived at her facility, and he claims someone broke into his room and stole his belongings. The only thing the secret surveillance camera showed was the plaintiff returning from work, and then the cameras were shut off. Bottom line, nothing was stolen, and she certainly doesn't owe him for lost wages because he missed going to work to get a police report. She's accused of not paying up.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case of the docket. The plaintiff worked as a mental health counselor and says that he's owed back wages. He also says the defendant allowed somebody to steal his belongings. But the defendant says the plaintiff is full of it. It's the case of who's going to counsel me.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, James F. Watt.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Annette Michael and ACM Dignified Transitional Housing Incorporated, where you used to live, for $4,900 in damages that you say you sustained when there was a burglary in the apartment that you were living in.
Correct.
Okay, explain to me what happened.
I was referred to ACM Transitional Housing by the New York State Human Resources Administration, HRA.
And what is transitional housing?
It's a place you stay when you have no place to stay, when you have no place to live.
So you hook up with her and you move in on what day?
I moved in, I think it was in May of 2011.
Okay.
I was paying the rent to her and assisting her. I have a degree in counseling, substance abuse counseling. So I was assisting her with most of the people she had in there.
Okay.
Most of them came from upstate New York, released from prison, and they had substance abuse issues. So I was assisting her.
What do you mean by assisting her? You were counseling the...
She offered me a position in one of those houses she owns, and I moved into that.
Okay.
That's when I had a problem.
And what was the problem?
Somebody broke into my unit.
Okay.
And stole my guitar, my keyboard, cameras, BlackBerry, and other very important possessions to me.
When did that happen?
That happened in April 23rd of this year.
And what time of the day or night did that happen?
I wouldn't know what time, but I have a feeling.
When did you notice it?
I noticed at about 8:30 when I got back from work.
All right, and so were you rooming with another person or alone?
No, because I had a special responsibility as a manager of the house. I had a room.
Your own?
My own, with a key.
And would you lock it?
I would lock it.
Okay, and had you locked it that day?
I locked it that day, put the key in my pocket.
So when you returned, had the lock been tampered with?
The door was ajar.
The door was ajar.
Right.
So you knew right away something was wrong because the door was open. All right, did you inspect the lock at all? I assume he came to get you when this happened.
Yes, he called me immediately.
And then?
And when we went over, there was the lock was not tampered with.
Okay.
The lock is a deadbolt lock that goes in. It's not the kind of lock that someone can pass a card in or anything of that nature.
Did his room look like it had been, tell me what you saw when you went there.
When I went in, I noticed the room looked very neat and quiet and clean.
It didn't look like it had been rifled through or
No,
whatever?
it didn't. Not at all.
Okay, what did you notice about the window?
Okay, the window.
Is there a window?
Yes, it's a window to the back.
Had the window been tampered with?
The window has no barriers or security latches of any kind.
I assume it has the lock that the window comes with.
No.
There's no little switch?
Nothing.
Okay, do you have a picture of the window?
Yes, I do.
May I see it? And was the window open or closed?
The window was closed. Just a picture. These are all pictures. Should I give everything?
Yep.
Yes.
So what was taken? The guitar?
The guitar, the electronic keyboard, the laptop.
What do you think happened? Who do you think took your stuff? I mean, I know there's a bunch of recovering addicts there. I mean, so, I have a guess, but.
Yeah. That day, what probably happened is that somebody came through the window because Miss Michaels, when the facility opens, she brought a couple of them back
What do you mean she brought a couple of them back?
from day program work,
Okay.
wherever they went.
So she brought some back in.
At 4 o'clock, and then no one was there to monitor them. At that point in time, they had access through the back window into my unit.
Let's talk about the locks on the window. You say there was a lock?
No, it's not a lock. It's just a little latch. That's it.
Like, is there a latch on the window?
Yes.
And you say there is not a latch on the
There was
window, or
not.
it's an inadequate latch?
No, there was none.
Not a latch. Do you have a picture of the window?
No, I don't.
Okay. And you have a picture of the window, but it's not a complete picture of the window.
Yeah, that's a window.
Oh, there, the little latches are right there. So there are the little latches that shut a window so nobody can get in. I'm looking at it.
Okay, what you're seeing does not work. I have a film of it.
Okay, you have film.
I have a film.
Okay. Where's the film?
Right here.
While you're looking for your film, do you think he's making this up?
Yes, I believe he's making it up.
Why?
Because on the same day, on the 23rd, he lost his job. What happened is we have a security camera system. When he called me and I came over, first thing I asked him, I said, did you let yourself into the door or was the door open? He said, I let myself into the door. Okay?
Oh, he testified here the door was open.
Right, that's what.
Did your security camera show him letting himself in?
The last time the security camera showed him letting himself in was about 5 minutes after he left for work. And that was the last
He
footage.
let himself in 5 minutes after he left for work? So like he forgot something?
Right.
Okay, and then what?
And then after that, the cameras went dark.
How did that cameras end up going dark?
Okay, the controls for the cameras are in his room, behind the television, all the way in the corner of the room. And when the guy came from the security company, the plug was out.
Really? The plot thickens.
Plaintiff says the defendant is responsible for a variety of misdeeds, including not paying him and allowing someone to steal his stuff. She says it's a scam. Let's listen.
So someone breaks in. The door's not broken into. Maybe he came through the window. You say the window doesn't have a lock. She says the window does have a lock. Someone not only gets in and takes your stuff, but unplugs a security camera. You wouldn't go around telling people about the security camera control being in your room. Who else knew about that?
There were about 4 residents who've been there over a year or more.
Well, why would they know it all?
Because that room used to be open.
You didn't pull it out, right?
Pardon me?
You didn't pull it out.
No.
Okay. And why else do you think that he might be making it up?
Because he's always been hard up for money ever since he came to our establishment. And in fact, he came to me one day practically in tears. He said, Miss Michael, I lost my job. So I said, what happened? Because they need to advise us when they're working, when they're not working, et cetera, et cetera. He said, a client entrusted some money to me. I needed money to pay my car insurance, and I used the money orders. Then the client got transferred to a different counselor. So the new counselor, was comparing the money orders that the client had in the file, the copies, to what Mr. Effie Watt, gave the new counselor, and nothing matched. And then he had to confess, so he came home that day.
It was the same day as the burglary?
Oh, no.
Okay, that was on another job.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
He came home and he told you about it.
All right. He came home and he told me about it.
Must have a very trusting personality that he would confide all that in you.
Well, you see, that's part of our guidelines are that the clients, especially the ones who are in recovery. In fact,
Is he in recovery?
Maybe you can ask him himself.
Are you in recovery?
No, I'm not.
Did you get housing there based on any addiction?
No, I got housing because of homelessness.
The criteria for admission.
At your place?
Yes. Is that a client needs to be either on parole, have minor mental illness, HIV or AIDS, or be in recovery from drugs and alcohol. When Mr. Effie Watt came for his interview, he said for over 20 years, he was using drugs very hard. Then he said, in fact, let me show you some pictures of when I was. So He brought me the pictures, and I did not, no one could have told me that that was the same person that I was interviewing. These are the pictures from when he said he was using drugs on a regular basis. And in fact, he said because of that, he lost his job, he lost his wife.
Now?
He's praying that he'd be able to have contact with his children, et cetera, et cetera. But he came to New York to make a better start.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. When you ask him to leave because it's not good for the
morale.
harmony of
Yes.
the place, what do you say to him? That if you leave, I will pay you
Okay.
a certain amount of money.
I said, Mr. Effiwat, how much are these things you're claiming to have lost? Because every single day he called me, he added something else onto it.
Right. At the beginning, when the burglary happens, according to you, he tells you, I'm missing a guitar, a laptop, and a keyboard.
Yes.
What items did he add to that later?
He added a movie quality camcorder, a phone, a suitcase with valuable.
I mean, it's not that big a room. How do you not notice the things that are missing the one time?
They were in the closet.
Well, how do you not look at I mean, come on. I mean, the room is this big. How do you not look at the closet and see what's missing?
Even my CD.
Because I got to be careful that you're not just adding stuff
No,
because according to you, he lost his job the same day as this?
Exact same day.
Did you get fired from your job on that same day?
No.
You were suing for $3,000 in lost wages May, June, and July. Why would she pay your lost wages?
Because I lost my job. Because I had to wait for the police for fingerprints. They were coming to take fingerprints.
Why did you lose your job? Because you didn't go to work one day to handle a burglary?
Yeah.
Do you have any paperwork from your job so I can see what your wages are and that you lost your job and everything else?
Yeah. Yeah, it was very unfortunate because I had missed work one other time due to illness.
Okay.
And this was the second one, and they did not take kindly to that.
Okay.
Here's my wages.
Oh. Well, that and, let's see, failure to show up at work 2 times within the probationary period, coming to work late, refusal to take supervised urine tests, incomplete paperwork. You got fired for a couple things, right?
Oh, yeah, well,
How are we going to pin that on her and tell her, hey, lady, pay him $3,000? How am I going to do that?
So, are you buying this argument that somebody unplugged my security camera?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because, like, how can you tell that somebody stole your stuff if the security camera...
Well, that's true, but how, I mean, do you think burglars automatically say, gee, is there a security camera I can unplug?
No, because they're usually, like, in a hurry to steal everything that you're trying to get.
Is this guy fishy?
Not necessarily. I think with modern technology, probably people can do these kind of stuff.
Oh, you're such an apologist. Come on. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me ask you a question.
This is
When you
for the
decide to offer him something to leave because it's disruptive and it's ruining the peace and harmony, what is it you offer him, ma'am?
I offered him $600.
Okay. According to you, she offers you $1,200.
correct. She says to me on a Wednesday, you leave tonight, I give you $1,200. I said, no, give me a couple of days. I get an apartment and I will be gone. She said, okay.
What was a couple of days? She says that you stayed there another several weeks.
And that was a lie. That was not
Okay.
true.
When did you leave?
I left got paid on the 2nd, and I left on the 3rd. 10 days later.
Oh, well, that's not what she asked, though. She said, get out and I'll give you X.
Then
All
she
right.
said,
show me the video. I need to see the video. Can you get that going? And according to you, you did not authorize him staying another 10 days? Because you wanted him out.
Exactly.
What is this supposed to show me?
that the window has no locks. It's
Yeah, but you're... Love of all that's holy. There's a lock there. There's a lock.
okay. The
And then you say, this doesn't work, Judge. I have a video that'll show you this doesn't work. So I expect that I'm going
Okay.
to see
Let-
how it
can
doesn't
I-
work. How does that video show
Yeah,
that
can
it
I see
doesn't
that
work?
again,
Maybe you
please?
showed the wrong video. Go
yeah,
ahead.
maybe I showed the wrong video.
There's a video of the window from you standing outside, and the window's not doing anything, and you're not doing anything to the window.
Okay, hold on.
All right, we'll do.
You don't have a video that shows the window's broken.
Yes, I do.
Well, then you should have brought it to court. Mr. Effiwat,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whether the burglary happened or not. I'm going to assume for the purposes of this discussion that the burglary did happen. For her to be responsible to you for $5,000, you would have to be able to prove numerous things. Number one, the bulk of your lawsuit, $3,000 in lost wages, May, June, and July. You would have to prove that this lady is the reason you lost your job. Your very own proof that you've proffered up shows that you lost your job because you didn't go to work twice during a probationary period, refused to take urine tests, and had incomplete paperwork. You lost your job because of your own job performance. There is nothing she did to cause you to lose your job. Your next item, big ticket item, is $1,200, the amount that, according to you, agreed upon to replace the lost items. You don't have a single text, a single email, single certified letter. You don't have a witness. You don't have a promissory note. You have nothing to prove that it's your way and not her way. And then when we do the math, it looks like you were there at least another 10 days, even by your own admission. So no, I'm not going to order her to pay you neither $600 nor $1,200. And for pain and suffering, I am not going to order her to pay you for pain and suffering based on all of my other rulings. And my verdict is for the defendant. Good luck to both of you.
And so the plaintiff comes out with nothing, suing for $4,900. What's your reaction here?
Disappointed, but such is life.
Right. So when this alleged burglary took place, you claimed a certain amount, but you didn't notice all those other items at that time?
Yes, I did.
How could you not notice a CD player, all those CDs, camera, BlackBerry, camcorder?
You see, when your place is burglarized, it's a shocking experience. So by the time we went back to look at other things, it was late.
It was late?
Yeah.
All right. Right around the corner here, and documents are waiting for you. And so, all right, you come out on the winning end here. What's your feeling on what took place?
The judge was fair.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think burglarized his joint?
His things were not burglarized. One of the clients saw some of the items in the trunk of his.
Well, so why'd you offer to pay him anything?
Because the situation, the kind of people that we deal with, we don't need a belligerent person running around accusing people, et cetera, et cetera.
What do you think, Harvey?
So here's the deal. Landlords don't ensure that there won't be a burglary. They have to take reasonable steps in making sure the apartment is secure, but they do not guarantee anything. They have to be negligent in order for a tenant to collect against them. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.